Law Simplified with Justice, the new informative, educative, and thought-provoking program is what you need to keep abreast with law and politics. This exciting and truly refreshing program is anchored by Justice Maduforo, a solicitor.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a soul-searching discussion here with my colleague. We've been dissecting sole responsibility under the immigration rule, those under 18 and those above 18 years of age as well.
Law Simplified with Justice understands that law is a powerful driver to human behavior. It is therefore poised to simplify the law and get you to take action.
Bring it to your doorstep and simplify it the way that you will understand.
Contact Justice by calling 07931 727 597 or email lawsimplifiedwithjustice@yahoo.co.uk. Law Simplified with Justice, bringing the best to the audience.
You are welcome to Law Simplified with Justice, your regular favorite legal and political show. And this show has been airing for a while, bringing the best to you. Audience sitting right at home, driving on the road, right in any public place, sitting at your relaxation, you watch this program. This program has been designed to educate you. It's been designed to inform you. It's been designed to be a very anchor for you for all your legal issues. I remain your host and presenter, Justice Maduforo. I am a solicitor. I have been anchoring this, bringing the best topics in legal fields and discussing it with you. And response has been tremendous. People has been tremendously favored and blessed, use that word, with those who have tuned into this program and implemented what they hear. And implementation is for you to seek proper legal advice. And that's why I make myself available, bringing the topic, speak it with you, simplified. Then you can come down to see me in the office. We will sit down and have one-on-one chat and take full detailed instruction from you and advise you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Law Simplified with Justice. And as we do it on this show, I must tell you that whatever I say on this program is purely my opinion. It is not legal advice. It is my opinion. Therefore, you should not act on them, but rather seek proper legal advice before you can act on whatever you hear on this program. As I said, do not act on it, but seek proper legal advice. Now, let me crack on. The last time on this show, I introduced a topic called retained right of residence under the European Economic Area Regulations, which is the EEA. I tabled and formatted and targeted and prepared this topic because statistics have shown that quite a lot of us are still getting it wrong when it comes to applying for your permanent residence under the European Union laws. Now, so many of you have obtained your right to live in the United Kingdom or even elsewhere under the EEA, especially in the UK laws, and right of residence, which is issued as a residence card to you, which is the initial period of 5 years. As you have applied that and that has been granted, now that is not the end. The reason I brought this topic is because people are nonchalant, relax, and completely forget that it is a probationary period granted, which requires quite a lot of commitment, quite a lot of constant tendering of that 5 years, gathering evidence as you go. Because 5 years clicks and it ticks just like the clock, and it goes off. And before you know it, the applicant is 5 years due to renew or to apply for permanent residence. And that is where the trouble starts. I've seen it and have done quite a lot of appeals in the immigration tribunals regarding this same topic. And often at times, over a very silly thing, the appeal is refused. And obviously, it fights on from there from permission to appeal, which will also be refused because as a result of new cases that have come in and new repeals of the law and new laws that have come in to prevent you bringing further evidence, even in court. Now, as a result of that, it's important that you annexure your documents and your application for the first time and you get it right. Now, this is the essence of this program, that you understand the law and you get it right for the first time. I do that. I am a solicitor. I bring you to my office and we sit down, have a good chat, and I give you all that you need to submit. As a result of that, once you've made the first application, it's important that once you get the application, you need the thorough advice. The first time you make that application, gather all the evidence you need, and then you'll be further advised on what to do as you build on. Now, let me move on to strictly say that once 5 years has been granted, the next role, the next step you take is that of now ensuring that you now retain your right of residence. Now, what is the issue of retained right of residence? A retained right of residence occurs, for instance, as a result of you have obtained your right to reside in UK through marriage or through civil partnership. And as a result of that, there's an issue that occurred within the duration of the marriage. Either marriage breaks down, or the parties decide to separate and go their separate ways. As a result of that, that leaves the applicant, the non-EEA applicant, the situation now where he found himself or he or she finds himself difficult how to get out. And what it is, how to retain that right that was initially given to you. As I said earlier, marriage is broken down, and you've obtained your right through that. Now also, you can retain your right of residence if, for instance, a child have applied and been granted right of residence through that, through a family member who is an EEA national or citizen. As a result of that, this child carries on. Now, this child can still lose this right of residence at any time. And the issue is that, how do you retain that right? Another also aspect of the application under the regulations are those granted through extended family members of an EEA national. Once they are granted that granted right of residence through extension as an extended family member of an EEA national, they also have the Huclus tax and the humongous tax to ensure that that right is protected and along the line, should in case anything happen. Also, another point is those who have depended on the EEA national, has been granted 5 years leave to remain here. As a result of that, the right of residence can also be lost at any time. Now, how do you retain this right at the same time? So you see, there are a lot of categories of people who have applied and been granted the first initial step, which is the 5 years probationary period, as I said earlier on. The question and the essence of this topic is, how can you now retain it should anything go wrong? Anything is bound to go wrong in such applications. Now, how will you lose that? It's either your EEA national. Remember that application is lodged based on your family member who is an EEA national or EU citizen. Once the EU citizen leaves the United Kingdom back to another country, then you will lose that right, because the law provides that you have to follow your EEA national family member to wherever he goes. So if he leaves the United Kingdom, it's expected that you will leave with him. But you can retain your right and stay while he goes. Another also is that if the EEA national member dies, then you lose that as well. Now, how can you retain if that EEA national dies? That's another issue I'm talking about. Now, another also aspect is that if the EEA national is a divorce has taken place, for instance, there's another issue. You want to safeguard your right and retain right of residence. Now, let me go straight to marriage here. If you were married to an EEA national, and that you've been granted the 5 years, and before you how can you now retain your right of residence should in case anything goes wrong? The law provides that before that, you must have divorced. You must have first, number one, lived with your family member, who is your spouse, at least been in marriage for at least 3 years, and within the 3 years, lived together for 1 year. Once that is done, then you can now commence your divorce application, even if the family member have decided to separate and not to support you any further. Remember, there are documentations to provide when you're making an application of permanent residence, which you have obtained through EEA national. And part of that, and most essential, is the passport of that EEA national. Quite a lot of people, applications are rejected because once you did not include that passport of your EEA family national, you see that means that EEA national is not supporting you, or is no longer here, or it's not exercising treaty right. And now, let me mention one more thing as well. How you can lose that right of residence is if your EU national also loses the stops to exercise treaty right. Treaty right is very important. As a matter of fact, it's synchronous to that EU national member extending the right for you to live here. Obviously, the question now is that what next can you do afterwards that you have been granted 5 years? So the question is, I've seen a lot of people make these mistakes, is that when they come in, they find out that they have all lodged an application for permanent residence, not knowing that there are certain things to do before lodging that, assuming there's an issue with the marriage involved. This is very vital, which I have discussed with you in that respect. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I introduce this topic, Retained Right of Residence Part 2, which is what I said discussing in the last program, and you're free to call in live on the show the telephone numbers on your screen. And afterwards, you can, if you feel you're not comfortable to call this, you can come and see me in the office. Give me a call, 079 31 727597, and I'll direct you to come to the office. We'll make an appointment, come to the office. However, it's important to point this out to viewers that I do charge consultation fee if you come to seek proper, well-tailored legal advice. Consultation fee will be payable. And so as a result of that, legal advice is completely not free. But it's important that you understand your own part to play, which is taking the first step first, getting the right advice, obviously paying for that advice, and then thereafter harnessing your options. Once your options are well harnessed, you can take any decisions knowing that you are taking the right step. And that is what I'm doing in this program. I'm here bringing the best to you, educating and informing the community to ensure that you stay on the right track.
Law Simplified with Justice, the new informative, educative, and thought-provoking program is what you need to keep abreast with law and politics. This exciting and truly refreshing program is anchored by Justice Maduforo, a solicitor.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a soul-searching discussion here with my colleague. We've been dissecting sole responsibility under the immigration rule, those under 18 and those above 18 years of age as well.
Law Simplified with Justice understands that law is a powerful driver to human behavior. It is therefore poised to simplify the law and get you to take action.
Bring it to your doorstep and simplify it the way that you will understand.
Contact Justice by calling 07931 727 597 or email lawsimplifiedwithjustice@yahoo.co.uk. Law Simplified with Justice, bringing the best to the